We nearly got a movie that would have concluded the Stargate universe story. But more than that, we nearly got an SG1 SGA SGU crossover movie. This blew my fragile little mind. Welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. I heard this story a while ago, that there were plans by Brad Wright, just after SGU was concluded and the show was cancelled, for MGM to produce this movie that was going to cross over the crews of SG1, SGA, and SGU. That they were going as a team to go and save the crew of the Destiny. Now, I thought it was a myth. I didn't think it was actually true, because they did have a couple of movies planned.
I think a lot of people who have been around for a while, they know that there were a couple of movies that didn't get made. Joe and Paul's Stargate Extinction script for Atlantis. And I think it was you and Carl were working together on Stargate Revolution. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And the truth is, they not only didn't get made, they were relatively early in their development. It's not like we had a script that we could have shot. We were still, we had first drafts, I think, and they were something we were planning to do like 6 months down the road.
Stargate Extinction, led by Joseph Malozzi, was going to be the movie to conclude the Stargate Atlantis story arc. Stargate Revolution was going to be a movie led by Brad Wright and Robert Cooper that was going to conclude sort of the SG1 storyline and was apparently going to focus on General O'Neill, really give Richard Dean Anderson a big platform to say goodbye to the character, possibly. So when I heard rumors about this crossover event, I actually didn't think they were true. On the recent event that Sidetrack, Dialgate, Gate World, and Three Fry Short did with the Companion, Darren from Gate World did ask Brad about this, and he said, yeah, it's true. Basically, we had loads and loads of sets. We had all of this set up. We had two major story arcs that had never been tied off. It would almost be stupid for MGM not to do the movie.
I just started typing, Darren. I asked my boss at MGM, who was a huge Stargate fan and was kind of mortified by the fact that all of this was happening. And I said, look, we have many millions of dollars worth of sets here that are going to have to get packed up and basically discarded. And if I can get a script in your hands quickly enough, I bet I can get the cast of SGU and bring aboard enough cast members from the other show that that I could at least give us a 2-hour movie to wrap it up, or a 90-minute movie to wrap up SGU.
Continuum had made really good money for MGM. The Arc of Truth had made really good money for MGM. I honestly actually think, even though Brad talks about the DVD sales dropping and nobody was buying DVDs, I get it. But I actually think if they'd have released this, particularly if they'd have done it in like a fancy metal box or something and made it a collector's thing, that this would have made money for them as well.
And it was purely the collapse of the DVD market that triggered the sidelining of those projects. And it began as, could you just like put a hold on development for a couple of weeks, because we're getting some numbers here that are literally a month later. Yeah, I think we need to put just a stop on development on this for now, and just see how it. And then a month later, forget it. There's no way we can make these.
We were clamoring for more Stargate at this point. SGU had been cancelled and we were all gutted. It's like somebody had run up and punched us in the gut. Are you seriously telling me that we wouldn't have run out and spent 20 quid on this DVD if they'd have released it? Or even better, why the hell didn't MGM talk to Netflix or something like that? They'd have probably paid for it. It absolutely fries my mind that MGM didn't do this. Now, actually, Brad talks about how he has allies at MGM, people that really were in his corner and that were trying to get this done. It did basically come down to money. MGM was going into a controlled bankruptcy. New owners were coming in and basically new people just came in. The people that were there that supported Stargate perhaps weren't just a few weeks later. It really was an absolute perfect storm against Stargate.
Like 2 weeks into the process, I found out it's not going to happen. Yeah. And even as we were going through it, it was, could you do it for this number? Could you do it for this number? And then it got to the point where, look, I've already taken my own producing fee out of the budget.
But I can't help but wonder how this movie would have worked.
It started with McKay, and it began a recognition that Destiny was in trouble, and I don't want to go into the plot details, but
obviously Eli was still awake and he was desperately trying to fix the Destiny, but perhaps he was failing. Perhaps they got communication through the stones. I really didn't like the constant use of the stones in SGU. I know it was necessary, but that was one area I had a problem with. So if they had to use them again, it would be a shame. But to be honest, I don't really see any other way of doing it. But however, they realise back on Earth that the Destiny is in serious trouble. And Rodney sets up a way of trying to dial out to them, which he'd obviously done before. Now, that could have given us an opportunity to find out what was going on with the Atlantis, because obviously the story is going to start with Rodney McKay. Brad Wright talks about how there would have been some SG1 characters coming back as well. So we could have found out a little bit more information about what was going on with them. It would have been an opportunity to maybe see a retired O'Neill come back, hugging his missus, General Samantha Carter, maybe? Oh, was she a general by then? I don't think she'd been quite a general by then, but you know where I'm going with that. It would have been interesting, perhaps, that there was a new enemy or something to do with the planet builders. That would have also been a really interesting way of doing it, because, I mean, the planet builders were a race, a mysterious race, that really were almost as powerful as the ancients themselves, maybe even more powerful. So perhaps it's something to do with them that would have tied all this together. Maybe it was the planet builders that alerted McKay and SG1 to the problem. No, that doesn't make sense. The stones makes more sense. But either way, it would have been fascinating to get more information about them. It would have been fascinating to do more, though, than just save the crew of the Destiny. And it does seem that that's what Brad Wright was thinking as well. Just saving the crew isn't enough. We needed to know why they were out there in the first place. We need to know that, because then it really does tie off the whole point of the series. Without that conclusion, without that reason for them being out there in the first place, what is the point of the 2 seasons we got? Now, I don't know how Brad Wright was going to do that. I think we're going to have to wait for his memoirs for him to tell us, like a few other things. But it is fascinating to consider the possibilities. How do you think he might have done it? I'd love to know. Get in the comments. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos appear first and you get to see them without the adverts, and you even get a free gift after 3 months for a small contribution each month that really supports the channel, of course. Also, you can go to scitrek.co.uk, our dedicated website where we do articles based on most of our videos, and we try to throw in a few more details for you to digest. So go and check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.